I heard my husband comforting my best friend outside during my father's funeral reception. Yesterday, I knew something was wrong the second I saw Melissa crying behind the catering tent with my husband holding both her hands. My father's funeral reception had barely started. There were paper cups stacked beside the coffee station and rainwater dripping from the rented white canopy. Melissa kept wiping her face while Daniel leaned close to her like I wasn't standing 20 feet away watching them. When he noticed me, he dropped her hands immediately and walked over already talking before I even asked anything. He said Melissa was overwhelmed because my father treated her like family. I remember nodding while my stomach felt strangely hollow. Melissa had been my best friend since sophomore year. She helped me pick my wedding dress. That night, after everybody left, I sat on the kitchen floor eating dry cereal from the box because I suddenly couldn't stand the sound of spoons hitting bowls. Daniel kept pacing between the sink and refrigerator while explaining things I never asked about. Then his phone buzzed across the counter. I looked down without thinking. Her name appeared beside a message that said, "I can still taste you." I honestly thought I misread it at first. Daniel grabbed the phone so quickly it knocked over my father's framed obituary card. I remember staring at the cracked glass while Daniel whispered my name over and over. Eventually, he admitted they had been sleeping together for 8 months, mostly while I worked late shifts at the dental office or visited my father during chemotherapy treatments. I drove to Melissa's apartment around 1 in the morning wearing sweatpants and my father's old gray hoodie. Her downstairs hallway smelled like cigarettes and fried onions. When she opened the door, she looked exhausted instead of guilty, which somehow hurt worse. I kept waiting for her to deny everything or apologize immediately, but she just stood there holding the edge of the door with both hands shaking. She told me it started after my father's diagnosis because Daniel felt lonely and ignored. Hearing her describe my husband like he was emotionally abandoned made me feel physically sick. I asked whether she ever thought about me while sleeping with him in her bed beside the bookshelf I helped her carry upstairs last winter. Before leaving, I noticed my spare apartment key hanging beside her kitchen calendar. I moved into a small extended stay motel near the interstate 3 days later. The room had a humming refrigerator, stiff floral blankets, and water stains above the television. Daniel kept sending long messages swinging between apologies and anger. Sometimes he blamed stress from my father getting sick. Other times he blamed me for becoming emotionally distant during those months. Melissa wrote one email saying she missed me more than him and understood if I hated her forever. I read it twice while sitting in my car outside a grocery store, then deleted it without replying. The worst part was how normal everybody expected me to act afterward. Meanwhile, I kept replaying tiny memories that suddenly looked different. Melissa insisting on hosting my birthday dinner. Daniel volunteering to help her move furniture. The 3 of us drinking wine together while my father slept in hospice care 20 minutes away. It has been almost a year now. My father is still dead, which somehow remains harder than losing my marriage or my friendship. Daniel moved into an apartment across town with a roommate from college because he could not afford our place alone. Melissa transferred to another clinic after rumors started spreading between mutual friends. I have not spoken to either of them since January, except through lawyers handling the divorce paperwork. Sometimes I still reach for my phone wanting to text Melissa something stupid about television shows before remembering what happened. Tonight I folded laundry alone while listening to my upstairs neighbors argue through the ceiling vents. For nearly an hour, I realized I had not thought about Daniel once. Then I started crying anyway, because part of me still misses the version of my life that existed before that funeral reception destroyed it completely.